we do the D2 yet?
Nope.
All right. This one is the D2 Dagger.
Yep, that is the Team Dagger, isn't it? It's the one everybody's got.
Everybody's got to have one of these.
Yep, I need to join the cool kid club.
So what's your thoughts? What's your thoughts
I
on this
really
little
like
guy?
that knife. Yeah, I've actually used Todd's a few times, pulling it out of his own belt. So, yeah.
Patrick will embarrass you if he gets the chance to.
Well, he uses a crossbody carry with his, and
Uh-huh.
there were some times where I got close enough to him to where I brought his knife back into the game. But I really do like this knife. I actually in the beginning was a little bummed out because I was in the toss up between the two of these, and then when this one arrived, it was so much bigger than I thought without having held it, that I almost was considering sending it back for one of these, and then kind of like puppies, I guess I'll just keep them all, you know. So, but yeah, I really do like this. I like the fact we touched on it earlier that they have a trainer for it. I really can't emphasize that enough, how important it is. Um, but really, with this kind of stuff, you start getting into that retention ring potential again, which allows for you to be able to get to areas that are a little bit less visible. If I'm standing next to somebody and I've got a knife here and I reach down there, it's a little different than if I can just hang the knife down there and still be in proximity. So I feel like these retention rings allow for this to be much more deceiving and manipulatable versus a traditional dagger. So this is probably the next one that I'll be adding to my collection.
Well, I'm confused with the let it hang down there and what you
Um,
mean when you say that. And you might have to keep it above the table so the camera can
yeah,
see what you're
it's kind
doing.
of hard to see, but if I'm in my reverse grip here and I'm manipulating up in the high line, if I want to go down to the lower line, if I reach my hand down there, the knife is pointing at me. But if I roll the knife down here, I can get down into the thigh area or the hollow of the hip or genitalia, and I can reach all of that comfortably without having to bend at the waist.
And
So,
you're talking like
yeah, it's
like a
just a
strike.
little roll. I just drape it forward, and these other fingers keep the knife from moving when I put pressure.
Okay.
So I can hook or cut, and then on the way back up, I can get right back to my reverse grip.
Gotcha.
So playing with these, I feel like gives me a little bit more leeway when moving around my partner or, potential attacker. But once again, the advantage of that retention ring, if I'm caught unaware or if I lose my balance, that natural reaction to kind of catch your balance. It's weird. These little spinal responses, they're not things that you like have a control over. It's not like I can be like, oh yeah, I slipped in the shower, but I just held my cool. You know, when you slip in the shower, everything flies out everywhere, and you try to reel yourself back in, and that's what happens when you lose your balance. So I use that analogy, but everybody thinks they're cool and collected, but when you slip in the shower, you don't have control over your motor skills for a moment. And
Right.
it's nice that that retention ring gives you a last ditch effort there to keep your tool. So
Yeah. So I this one's kind of a training
yeah, looks
thing
like
for me.
looks like it gets a little
It's
use.
had a little bit of use. I haven't quite decided if I want to use this for defensive purposes, just because of the fact that it's basically just an ice pick kind of thing. It's got a sharp
Yeah.
point. It's got one purpose and that's it. Whereas with some of the other knives, you know, they have a
Yeah.
lot of other purposes to cut things open and to cut people out of seatbelts and more utilitarian purpose than that one. So